Muammar Gaddafi, the enigmatic and controversial leader of Libya, held power for over 4 decades until his dramatic downfall in 2011. Born in 1942 in a Bedouin tent near Sirte, Gaddafi rose to prominence through a military coup in 1969 that ousted King Idris I. This episode of Devils will delve into Gaddafi's early life, his revolutionary rule, his eccentric policies, and the events leading to his eventual demise. Gaddafi's early life was marked by Bedouin traditions and a modest upbringing. He joined the military, attending the Benghazi Military Academy, where he developed a deep sense of Arab nationalism and anti-imperialist sentiments. On September 1, 1969, Gaddafi led a bloodless coup that toppled King Idris I, establishing the Libyan Arab Republic. At only 27 years old, Gaddafi emerged as the leader of the new revolutionary government. Gaddafi's political philosophy, outlined in his Green Book, espoused a form of direct democracy known as the Jamahiriya system. He envisioned a state where people's committees replaced traditional political structures, aiming to eliminate class divisions and empower citizens directly. However, in practice, Gaddafi's rule was characterized by autocracy, with power concentrated in his hands and dissent harshly suppressed. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, Gaddafi pursued an ambitious agenda both domestically and internationally. He nationalized Libya's oil industry, using its revenues to fund social programs and infrastructure projects. His policies, coupled with Libya's oil wealth, led to a period of relative prosperity. However, Gaddafi's eccentric and unpredictable behavior on the world stage drew widespread attention. Gaddafi was involved in various conflicts and controversies during his rule. In the 1980s, he supported revolutionary movements, including the Irish Republican Army, IRA, and Palestinian groups. Libya's alleged involvement in the bombing of Pan Am Flight 103 over Lockerbie, Scotland, in 1988, and the bombing of a Berlin discotheque in 1986, led to international sanctions against the country. The 1990s saw Gaddafi attempting to mend relations with the West. In 2003, he announced the abandonment of Libya's weapons of mass destruction programs, leading to a rapprochement with the international community. The lifting of sanctions and the reintegration of Libya into the global economy brought a period of economic improvement. However, Gaddafi's domestic rule remained marked by human rights abuses, suppression of political dissent, and a lack of political pluralism. His eccentric personality, flamboyant attire, and revolutionary rhetoric continued to make headlines. Gaddafi also promoted the idea of a United States of Africa, advocating for stronger continental unity. The turning point for Gaddafi came in 2011 during the Arab Spring uprisings. Inspired by protests in neighboring countries, Libyans took to the streets, demanding political reforms and an end to Gaddafi's rule. The government's brutal response, including the use of military force against civilians, led to international condemnation. The United Nations authorized military intervention, and NATO forces, along with rebel groups, sought to overthrow Gaddafi. The conflict escalated into a civil war, with Gaddafi fiercely resisting calls for his resignation. In October 2011, Gaddafi was captured and killed by rebel forces in his hometown of Sirte, marking the end of his 42-year rule. Muammar Gaddafi's legacy is one of complex contradictions. While he initially gained popularity for challenging Western dominance and promoting social welfare, his later years were marred by autocratic rule, human rights abuses, and international controversies. His vision for a united Africa and his flamboyant persona left an indelible mark on global politics, but his downfall symbolized the end of an era for Libya, ushering in a new chapter in the country's tumultuous history.